Welcome to Create, Build, Manage, the Entrepreneur's Toolbox.
Welcome to Create, Build, Manage on BizTV. I'm Kelli Phillips. This season of Create, Build, Manage is brought to you by Thought Leader. Today we have two inspirational guests. First, Georgina Amabeli shows that we can all find out our true meaning in life regardless of the struggles we face early in our lives. Then Samantha uses her knowledge of human behavior to help companies improve team dynamics, leadership effectiveness, and overall workplace productivity. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Create, Build, Manage from Thought Leader. Our next guest inspires people to overcome their battles by having a meaning. To find out what that means, please welcome Georgina Amabeli. And Georgina, give us a little background about you.
I am an author of Believe, and I decided to write this book. It's based on my story, my biography, how I overcome many battles when I was little and growing up. And I didn't know that I have a meaning in life until later in life when I discovered that I was growing up having a meaning in life that basically was my engine to overcome many battles in life.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the battles that you have overcome?
I was abandoned by my father when I was a baby, and then later in life, I was given away by my mother, and I ended living with the family who abused me all my childhood, physical abuse, and then I lose my name. I grew up not having a name. I grew up having a nickname that means worse than Cinderella. The nickname was Mugres, and that, was a big impact on my life, thinking that I was not worth it. But it's still, despite of all of these battles, having a meaning was the one who was helping me to accomplish many great things in life, like I finished a university degree and become an engineer and rescue my mother, my biological mother, who was having a very difficult situation, and we overcome many difficulties in life.
So can you give us the definition to you what having a meaning in life is?
Your meaning in life has to be bigger than your pain, and it's an engine that will help you to overcome any battle in your life. It's imperative to have a meaning, and many times in life, we don't know why are we here on earth, and it's imperative to know. But I didn't know that I have a meaning in life until later when I have to start it all over again, and I have to start healing my past. And I went back to that little girl, asking her what was making her is still driving in life and accomplish many things later in life. And she just simply answered me that her meaning in life was bigger than her pain. And that made me wake up to me to start all over again. When I was in the middle of rediscovering myself again and start all over again after I raised my kids. And I forgot what it is to have a meaning in life and just having a life driving.
So what was your meaning of life when you were growing up? Do you remember?
Yes, I didn't know what it was when I was growing up until later when I went back to ask her, what was her meaning in life. And she simply told me that her meaning in life was be somebody in life. Like, for example, I never dreamed to be a millionaire. I always dream under the rain in Mexico City, still crying. I used to dream to become somebody in life. just for the fact that I was nothing. I was to prove my life, to prove the life that I was able to accomplish things no matter who loves you or not loves you. And I think so was God who was, inside of me, who was helping me because I was feeling like nobody loves me by then. No my father, no my mother, and no the family I was living with.
So
I was by myself.
So
but it was something.
At what point did you say, okay, I do have a meaning in life? Because it seems like you were kicked down and kicked down and kicked down or thrown to the curb. But at some point you had to stand up and go, okay, I do have a worth. So what was it? What was that point in your life where you said, now I've got a meaning and I'm going to do something with my life?
I think so. It was an engine, was something inside of me that I'm not able to explain you because that's why my book is called Believe, because I don't know what it was, but something was moving inside of me that was telling me, you're worth it. There is something behind this pain. There is something, in the future. I don't know what it was, but as I was driving, that's why it's unbelievable. And that's why my book is Believe, because I didn't know that I have a meaning until later in life, when I become a mother, later on my 40s, that I have to heal what happened all of my life, that I close it and I put them away and I forget it. It was super painful for me just to go back and to remember, but just for the fact that I need to discover again myself. Like I restarted again. Like, what is my meaning in life right now? I was feeling loser again. Now in these days in social media, I used to compare myself like everybody was better than me. After raising my kids and I chose to put aside my career and start all over again, I started feeling again loser, and I was feeling like everybody was very successful except for me. But then is when I discovered and I went back when I was little. Like we didn't have a social media. I didn't compare to anybody. I was just driving my life. And this is what I'm trying to teach and share with everybody. Don't compare to ourselves, and we have to discover our inner color. And the battles they're not outside, they're inside.
So tell us about your book, Believe. What can people learn from it and take away?
You're going to learn to discover your inner color, to become an inner warrior. It's not about to be fighting all the time with other people and try to convince and try to please other people. It's to be an inner warrior with yourself, like a fighting with your thoughts, and just find your inner color, because the battle is not outside, it's inside. So, every day, and especially in these days with the social media, young people and not young people, everybody, there is a lot of competition. So we have to sometimes close everything and come back and find ourselves and who we are and accept it.
So
because I really had a hard time. I really have a hard time to accept myself for many years, because I used to believe like I was the dummy one, the one always abused me. I was bullied. And I was having a hard time to accept it myself. But then I accepted myself. That is my personality.
So how do we know ourselves whether we have a meaning in our own lives? Is that something your book teaches?
When you read about my story in the book, you're gonna learn how to find yourself inside and connect many dots in your life, and you're gonna be able to find that you came to Earth with having a meaning, a purpose, And you didn't come to earn just only to steal oxygen. You came to the earth to contribute it to something and to have a meaning, a purpose in life.
Georgina, where can folks find your book and find more information about you?
In Amazon, in Amazon, and you can read a little bit my biography. And right now, my book is in Spanish, and we're about to launch it in English too.
All right. Sounds great. Georgina Amabeli, thank you for spending time with us today and telling us a little bit about your story. We appreciate it. Today's work environment is more unstable and anxiety producing than ever before. Our next guest can help you become more aware of what's actually going on. Please welcome Samantha Wu. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Kelly. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here. So you established a consulting company. Kind of give us your background and why you developed this consulting company.
As a psychotherapist, what inspired me were several things. And starting with a couple of statistics that astounded me while I was preparing for a talk. Number one, that the average American spends about 90,000 hours, which is like a third of their lives in the workplace. And second, that roughly around 9 out of 10 adults have trauma, which includes the workplace. And so, let's think about that for a moment. Think about how difficult the workplace is for many people. And we're tempted to blame groups of people like, Gen Z as snowflakes or, boomers for being old heads. But the root is that we all have trauma and we're bringing it to work, whether we know it or not. And so I've had great privilege to see the inside stories of gifted leaders in several industries. And whatever great work we did as client and therapist felt like it was only half of what needed to be done because people were part of a larger system in the workplace. And the problem is that there's a lot of talk about trauma everywhere. Even Oprah is in on that, right? And about emotional intelligence, but no one's bringing the how to the workplace, right? So how do we implement trauma-informed emotional intelligence in the work? In effective ways. So the founding story really is to really stand in the gap to provide actionable steps in addressing the how and implementing trauma-informed emotional intelligence at work to actually improve team dynamics, leadership conflicts, talent retention, and overall organizational health. And, to impact not only, profit margins for businesses, but to actually bring services that are efficient to their customers. So I'm really excited about this.
So you developed a unique methodology that is put into place. Can you kind of go through that?
Our methodology is called the E.M.B.R.A.C.E method. It's plural because it can be adapted to specific needs of the particular business. And it's a registered trademarked acronym. But it was born out of a therapeutic, modalities that kind of were synthesized. So it stands for, it's the acronym E.M.B.R.A.C.E, all capitals with dots in between. And it stands for exhale, move, befriend, relate, access, create, and engage. And each letter has a word that is based on proven clinical and relational approaches that is to be applied on people, not just in the therapy office. And each word has both literal and figurative and relational layers to it. So you can stay as superficially or go as deep as you want. But it is, importantly, number one, trauma informed, and number two, relational, which distinguishes it from other coaching and consulting that is out there right now. It's derived from principles of IFS, IFIO, trauma-informed, a lot of cutting-edge technologies within the therapy world out there. So it's really exciting to bring to the organizational setting, because you normally see this within therapy settings only. But we can adapt these principles to the organization. And unlike traditional consulting that focus solely on policy and process without deep psychological understanding of trauma, this method emphasizes the trauma-informed emotional intelligence for interpersonal leadership in real time. So we can help organizations recognize and address underlying emotional and relational dynamics that actually impact team performance and leadership effectiveness. So, I mean, it's fostering self-awareness, empathy, better communication, so that we can enable teams to function more cohesively and leaders to inspire more effectively. So it's a holistic approach, which I love. Not only does it resolve immediate issues, but also builds a foundation for long-term organizational health. And I'm really excited about it.
It seems as though this can not only work in the workplace, but can also work as a parent.
Yes, absolutely. This is how it was grown out, because you realize that a lot of us, adults or people in adult bodies are actually harboring a lot of inner children, and it's getting played out in the workplace. So, I mean, I found out through my practice that a lot of workplace trauma were playing out because these inner children were going into work expecting to be parented. And so this is a way to kind of take responsibility in a parallel process for your own inner children while recognizing that of others. So it's a really getting to the root of the issue method. And I'm really excited because a lot of things out there are very superficial. People throw money at the programs, and you realize that only, I think the statistic is about 10 to 17% buy in to these PAP programs that are out there right now. I mean, they're all well-intentioned, and, it might serve some purpose, but I'm concerned about the root of the issue, right? Which is that most people are, showing up to work with trauma.
Yeah.
Being traumatized. It's like this. Yeah. It's like the egg and the chicken.
And which comes first?
Exactly.
So can you share some of the key insights or trends in your industry that your company has identified?
Sure. And that is exactly what I was talking about, which is that more companies are realizing that there is this interface and relatedness and correlation between mental health and productivity. And it's no longer, neglectable. It's a very important aspect. So companies are investing more in programs that support mental health, not just as a benefit, but as a core component of their business strategy. But like I said, only a few are taking advantage. And when I was doing further research, it came to mind, it was shown that only a few percent really trust the leadership. So there is this gap between leadership, the managers, the front line, all these departments that are siloed. They don't trust one another. It's like a family, really. All right. So it really brought to mind the need for relational and trauma-informed approach. And we really see these trends that emotional intelligence is not just something you can talk about, and knowledge is not enough, that we need the ability to actually show up and be able to have emotional regulation and relational wisdom and organizational health.
And do you physically go to these places, or is it a program that you can do via Zoom, et cetera?
It will be available virtually, as well as if it's needed to go in person as well. So anything is possible right now.
Perfect.
It's an exciting time.
Yes, it sounds like it. Well, Samantha, thank you so much for sharing your story. We really appreciate it. And it sounds like you're helping a lot of businesses and maybe even some parents while you're at it. Thanks for joining me today for BizTV's Create, Build, Manage from Thought Leader. Do you have a message that you want to get out into the world? Thought Leader has helped many aspiring motivational speakers land TEDx talks, from their virtual talk practice club to speaker certifications and TEDx-style coaching. Thought Leader will help get your message out into the world where it belongs. For more information, visit thought-leader.com. Stay tuned to BizTV for more stories that educate, enlighten, and empower.